Hi everyone, I'm Jay,
I'm Colin.
and this is Star Wars Conversations. How
Woohoo!
you doing, Colin?
I am okay. Long day today. I have got up at 4:30. Was in
Oh,
London for 7:30, and then we had a royal visit at work.
is that
Met
what you were
the
live streaming earlier?
Yeah, I met the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge,
Did you?
Prince William and Prince. Is she a princess? No, she's Duchess.
That's awesome.
Kate, yeah. So yeah, it was cool.
Cool. What were they like?
Yeah, really nice, really friendly. It was
I would love
for
to meet them. I think that they're brilliant.
basically it was for Sports Aid, which is a UK charity which supports talented athletes, and there's
Awesome.
also a partner of the charity that I'm a big part of called the GLL Sport Foundation,
Awesome.
um, and we support over 2,000 athletes per year, giving them our first start. So it was a big sort of wheelchair basketball competition,
That's great.
and to celebrate the Commonwealth Games, which starts in a couple of days as well. So
It,
which is why Harry and not Harry, William and Kate were there.
that's good stuff, man. And did you get a photo with them at all?
No, not really. I mean, I took plenty of photos of them, but I didn't really get a. It wasn't like a proper like. I wasn't like having a proper meet. Oh,
Most
hello,
importantly,
sir.
when you met him, did you ask him about being a stormtrooper?
No, no.
Man, that could be
I
an
didn't,
exclusive.
didn't,
You could have got
didn't
him
get a
on the show.
chance.
You could have
I
gone, hey,
know.
Wills, come on the show, man.
Didn't get a chance. Unfortunately, I had to take part in a sport quiz.
Oh, I bet you did well.
Yeah. So, but I was playing against them two. They were on two different teams, so that was interesting.
You were against him in the quiz.
Yeah.
Damn. Is that being broadcast anyway? I'd love to hear that.
No.
Damn, that would have been so funny.
So yeah, interesting.
Man,
Interesting.
that's an interesting day out though. Like, interesting day at work for you.
Yeah, just another day
Just
in
a
the world of
average day.
my strange life.
Wicked. Cool,
Cool.
man.
Anyway, let's not talk about me. Let's talk about Star Wars. What are the news headlines
From around the rim. Well,
around the rim?
Disney have removed guns from Solo posters in North America.
Yeah.
Producer Ram Bergman and Ryan Johnson revealed that they have started work on their new Star Wars project. John Boyega says that Episode 9 is going to be all-out war, and that's
Oh,
it. That's all I've got this week.
wow! What exciting news headlines you have presented for me there, Jay. Let's unpick those bad boys. Let's start off with this poster malarkey.
Hmm.
First of
Okay.
all, that is one weird looking picture now.
So, okay.
He looks like someone jumped up behind him and given him a right old fright.
It does look like, doesn't it? It looks like it's got... He really does.
Ooh!
So, okay, so this is it's only in North America, as far as I can understand, and it seems to be
That's
a
because we love
reaction.
guns.
There seems to be a reaction to the shooting at the high school in Florida.
Right.
So this is what Disney have done. They've taken these out, but they haven't just removed it from Han Solo. They've also removed the gun from Kira and from Lando as well.
Really? I've only
So,
seen the
okay,
Han Solo picture.
so if you remember, Kira was kind of standing sideways with her gun raised next to her. So
Yeah.
they just removed her arm, so she's just standing sideways.
It's
And
not exactly done well, is it? I mean,
no,
like the
it's not.
way looks bad.
Yeah, and Lando has his gun pointing like from his hip kind of thing, and now they've just removed that part of his arm, and they've made his cape go down the side, so his arm's just straight and then hidden behind his cape.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's not done well at all, and it's kind of like rushed, isn't it?
I'm just looking at this picture again, man. It's funny. The look on his face just doesn't make sense now. It's
Yeah, it
weird.
looks like he's got a fright for sure. And I think there are like a couple of versions as well. There's like a version where he's got the other characters in front of him. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Just looking
It's
at it
got
now.
it's got So you can see like the version with the guns; they've all got their guns, and then you can see the other version where Kira hasn't got her gun, and neither has he, and neither has Chewie. Either Chewie's gun's been removed. Chewie's gun's been removed. They've added the bandolier, and it's just like he's a bunch of like fuzz.
Oh yeah, because they've covered up. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when this news came out, I wasn't too sure if it was legit because I first saw it on a website called dangerous.com, and I actually saw it because of a tweet. It just appeared on my Twitter. So I saw that and I thought, well, I don't really know this site. And then, as far as I could tell, it had come from Movie Web, which I don't generally trust them. But then I started to see it all over the place. Star Wars Theory had done a whole video about it. And then obviously I saw the tweets from other people, like numerous other people, putting this up all around the same time as well. So it's kind of like, okay, so this is obviously
the language it's in a different language. It's not in English, is it? So
yeah, and that's the weird thing because it says that it's to do, and of course I'm just going to this by this dangerous.com thing, but they're saying it's a reaction to the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland in Florida, but they said there's two versions. So they've got the gun version, which I think is the ones that we see around here in England. But I don't know where this is then. If it
are you going to take the guns out of the film?
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? Because it's like, well, it's not in the poster. So now, if I look at that poster, I'm like, I don't expect to see any guns in the movie, and then people could be getting shot. I'll be horrified. You know? And
what about the trailer? Are they going to blow out the guns?
I don't know. Or just completely remove them. They'll just have like empty hands. Can you imagine? Like if they just actually took the guns out, so it's just their hands pointing and stuff. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what that's all about. And look, I mean, you know, obviously, like the school shooting's a terrible thing and all that, but I don't see why they're removing the guns from Star Wars. Everyone knows what Star Wars, and you can differentiate, you know, the sci-fi fiction.
The clues in the name. Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to have guns in it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of a weird reaction, in my opinion, for them to do that.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, again, it don't really matter, but because it's not probably going to affect the film, I guess. Yeah. But it's a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I to be honest, the cult. I guess it's a culture thing, isn't it?
Hold on a minute. Hold on. I've just seen something here. Okay. So
breaking news.
So one of the people, this was posted 47 minutes ago. So one of the posts that shows those pictures is Dragon's daughter. So it's like a fan of Daenerys, right? And they've tweeted that people mocking with Disney's choice to do this with the posters are being ignorant. They don't realise it. Go search out Brazil's disarmament statute. These posters are for Brazil only.
I was going to say, because they've all got a different language, so maybe it's just Brazil.
Yeah, so supposedly in Brazil they don't show guns in their posters. I didn't know that. I was completely unaware of that.
Well, it gives a new take on the term Brazilian.
Yeah.
They like to remove things, don't they?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess this is a thing that's only going to be in Brazil then. And
Hands had a Brazilian. Excellent. That's our new title for this episode.
It's kind of weird though that they don't show guns in their posters, and then you'll have them in the movie though. You know.
Well, look. Again, I'm not going to comment on other people's cultures. All I know is this seems to be a complete non-story, and people have got excited about nothing as usual.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's gone all over the place. It's everywhere. Okay. Like, it's everywhere today.
Well, if it's just Brazil, then that's fine. I mean, it won't
affect the movie, and that's it. I mean, you know, if people are going to watch the movie, they're going to watch it. But you think, I think you made the best point of the whole story. And that is that Han Solo looks like he got a fright. and in fact, it's best on the one that's got all the characters, because they all look pretty chilled, and then he's just he's like, there, he's really big. You know, he looked like he got scared.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
So what
Anyway,
else? So this is,
let,
I mean, these are all non-stories really. Okay, Rand Bergman and Ryan Johnson revealed that they started work on a new Star Wars project because, um,
the new trilogy of
yeah,
Ryan
yeah,
Johnson's
yeah,
great.
and
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson had previously been avoiding.
Johnson.
When people asked him about it, he'd been kind of like trying to avoid talking about it. So people started to think that maybe the project was in trouble after the reaction to The Last Jedi. Maybe people didn't want a Rian Johnson trilogy, but apparently that's not the case. They've really started working on it. They're writing it. They're writing the story. So
Would you say he's a massive Johnson now?
now he's quite small. He's not. He's not a big Johnson. He's a little Johnson. but
Um,
but yeah, I mean, hey, cool. There's some more Star Wars movies. I still quite liked The Last Jedi. We've talked about it numerous times. I had my problems with it. There were certain things I didn't like, but overall I liked it. I'll be getting the Blu-ray soon.
I'm looking forward to the Blu-ray end of the month.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm looking forward to watching it again. You know what, though? Actually, yesterday, I haven't watched it in ages, and I stuck on Rogue One yesterday.
I saw you.
And I just forgot how much I loved that movie. I really enjoyed it. Just sitting there watching it last night, I was like, this is so much fun. I really,
It's a great
really
film. I
enjoyed
watched it.
really
I watched
is.
it. I introduced my mum and dad to it because they hadn't seen any of the new Star Wars films.
Right.
Obviously, because I haven't been living with them.
Mm.
And so we watched while I was recuperating. We watched Rogue One, and they loved that.
Yeah.
And then they watched The Force Awakens, and they didn't like that as much.
Ah, okay. The thing, as I was watching Rogue One yesterday, and I had a thought, in the scenes where Chirrut gets blown up and all that kind of stuff, and I thought, this is how Rebels should have gone.
Yes. Well, look, we talked about it at the time.
Yeah.
This, the Rebel storyline, without getting into all of this again, should have been dealt with the way, because it's that much more serious period of the history of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's not something that works for a kids show.
No, exactly. And also, I mean, these characters for me were so much more likable than the Rebels ones anyway, so I cared about them more. But yeah, I just had so much fun watching it yesterday, and it was cool because I haven't watched it in so long. See, my wife doesn't like it very much.
What?
She hated it.
Divorce her.
So whenever we go to watch something, like, she likes the new ones. She likes The Force Awakens. Well, she didn't like Last Jedi that much, but she liked The Force Awakens. So she'd always rather watch that or one of the originals. She doesn't like the prequels either, but she didn't like Rogue One. And as I'm watching it, I still like Tarkin and stuff like that. I still think he looks fine.
I don't really look fine.
He looks.
Everything looks good.
I like it. Anyway, yeah. So I just felt the need to throw that out there. That
Thanks,
fun
Jay.
again with Rogue One yesterday.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
And the last thing that I had on that news list was John Boyega said that Episode 9 is going to be all-out war. Okay, well, I hope so, because it's Episode 9 and it's Star Wars. But, of course, an actor in it's going to say something good. However, where this came from was, I'm going to quote him now, next for me, filming-wise, is Star Wars Episode 9 in July. So that's when they're going to start shooting Episode 9, right? So only a few months away, 4 months away?
Yeah.
And they've officially given us a note to start training soon. So they've got to start getting in shape and everything now. And he said, I'm going to take a holiday before that because I think Episode 9, regardless of where the story goes, and I haven't read it, by the way, it's going to be all-out war. So
so he doesn't actually
it's
know.
It's speculation. So I know that I'm going to have to do all I can and train for that. Well, the main part of that story is that it's starting filming in July. So that's quite cool.
Hopefully, he'll be given something to actually do in this film.
I hope so, and I hope I hope that
gets rid of Rose.
Rose goes away.
I hope she dies. Yeah.
Yeah. Did we talk about the new Captain Phasma scene? Did we talk about that? My memory's terrible, man. I can never remember.
We did.
Stuff.
We talked about it, dude. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that wonderful news roundup, Jay.
That's okay.
I've
You're
got
welcome.
a couple of things to talk to you about.
Okay, one of them
In
I
my
know what it
in
is.
my travels around Star Wars universe,
Yeah.
I've got one thing good and one thing bad. What do you want first?
Let's start with the bad.
Okay, Forces of Destiny is back.
Oh God. Oh God.
So that is the 2 minute maximum
Yeah.
8 episode season. I don't really know what the point of it is. It's on the Disney YouTube channel. I
So
don't know if it's actually shown on the telly or not. Is it on the telly?
I think it's just on YouTube. You've watched all of them, right?
I watched all 8 in a row.
I've watched 2 of them, and to be honest, I was only going to watch one of them, and then when you said we were going to talk about them, I said I better check out one of the other ones.
Well, look, I mean, look.
The thing was, after watching the one I watched, I was just like, I can't be bothered with this. And then when we said we were going to talk about it, I thought, you know what, I should at least check out the one with Mark Hamill doing his own voice in it.
Yeah, that's the longest one.
Is that the longest one?
Yeah.
Nothing
2
happens
minutes 48.
in it. Nothing happens in it. It's just stupid. But it's good that Mark Hamill was in there doing voice. Was that Frank Oz doing Yoda as well?
I think, yeah, because, I mean, the big thing, to be honest, I saw a lot of hype for the first season of this, and they made a big deal that all the actors were coming back to do the voices.
Yeah.
And I think in this season too, definitely Rey, Jyn, the Rebels characters, the bloke that did Anakin in the original Clone Wars, obviously Mark Hamill, have all come back. I think Rose has come back in a one. Oh. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's not Natalie Portman who's playing.
Is Rose in it? Rose is in this one?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, anyway. So these little shorts are on the Disney YouTube channel. It's got its own playlist bit. And it's 8 episodes. Just quickly going over what they are. There's the first one is Hera and Sabine.
Didn't watch that.
I can't remember what happened. It's so rubbish. Then there was one with because when this first came out, this was very much about empowering female characters, wasn't it? Because everyone's got a voice over at the beginning by Maz Kanata.
Well, that was the point of it, and also they released a new line of dolls, the new female aimed at female Star Wars toys.
And obviously, your big thing about this was one. Obviously, it's a very kid-orientated cartoon, but also you don't really like the animation style, do you?
Yeah, and also I kind of felt that a lot of the filler bits are a bit either pointless or they make them stupid. Right? Yeah, and it's like, you know, they're filling in scenes between the movies, but now with idiotic stuff, and it's like, come on, man, why do we have to go down the Rebels route for the movies? Because the movies are still good, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, again, the problem is they've obviously made a conscientious effort for this season to really, apart from the episode about Luke, cover all the key major female characters. So obviously, the first one is about the Rebels, the females. The second one is about Ahsoka, Padme, and Anakin.
Didn't watch that.
Third one is about Rose. Fourth one is about Jyn. Fifth one is about Rey. Well, she's still a scavenger. The sixth one is the best one, and that's about Leia and how she gets her bush costume.
Yeah, so that's the one I watched, right?
Yeah.
And so
Maz Kanata's in it.
And Maz Kanata,
she helps her get the costume.
So Maz Kanata's shoehorned in there, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here we go. Now they've got a character that was in The Force Awakens. We've got to stick her in Return of the Jedi era, and it turns out that Leia was mates with her as well back then, and it was her that gave her the idea to dress as a bounty hunter. That's just dumb for me. Like, you know, I'm okay.
Fine.
I'm okay with it that Leia came up with that idea. You know, and then I was a bit disappointed actually because when you did see Bush before Leia took the costume, I was hoping that we'd see him unmasked, but we didn't. And then, at the same time, I've always believed that Leia killed Bush and took the costume, and it turns out just got knocked out by digger, dude, like some stupid digger. I was like, oh, yeah, and I watch it very like it's going to end in a minute, so it'd be okay. So yeah, I watched that one and the Luke one. Those are the only two I watched.
Okay, and then so then there's a Luke being trained by Yoda one, and then there's a Rey on the Atu dealing with some pesky porgs.
Now, I must say, in the Luke one, the
Yeah.
best bit of that I did like was right at the beginning where he can go, and then he falls out the tree.
Oh, Mark Hamill's mega overacts in this.
He really does.
He really does
He
play
does
it
it
up.
very tongue-in-cheek. And
Yeah.
actually, there was something in this, you can hear his age in his voice.
You can hear it's not young Luke.
Yeah, and going back to Rogue One, watching Vader's scenes, I was like, yeah, he sounds really old. James Earl Jones, you can hear that,
So look, just generally, so going back to that Leia episode, I mean, I thought it actually made sense bringing Maz into that because if Leia's going to try and get into the seedy underbelly of that
Jabba,
side of stuff, she's trying to find because this is set when obviously they're trying to before they infiltrate Jabba's palace, and I wonder again if this is a response to the whose plan was it and what was the plan going into Jabba?
Probably, it probably is.
I thought that was quite a sensible way to use Maz. I thought that was quite good actually, connecting it up. So
I guess I just didn't like the whole.
You don't like this approach, this whole approach, Jay. I think that's the issue.
That's it.
I mean, I actually don't mind. To be honest, the animation I don't mind. It's not the animation I want to see, but I actually don't mind the animation. I think it's fine, and I think for what they are, they're okay. They are worthless. I mean, like the Jin one is just such a waste of time.
The worst thing about them is that apparently they are canon, and
they are absolutely.
That just kills me.
I mean, like Rey had to deal with a pork stealing a lightsaber.
You know what, right? Recently, I've just been like looking at stupid things like Rebels, some of the books, and all that, and I thought to myself, you know what? Because with the canon and that, you choose what you like, and for me, the only things that are canon in the movies, I don't care about the rest of it. I think the rest of it is all just horse shit. So that I'm there now. I've reached that point.
So again, I mean, I'm not here to review these. I'm just basically saying they're okay and they're there.
Did you like them better than season 1?
To be honest, I don't think I watched all of season 1 again because it was so boring. There were too many in season 1. I think there was about 13 in season 1. Wasn't there?
Oh, I don't remember.
It felt like there were millions.
Yeah, maybe there were.
To be honest, no. To be honest, the stories are worse. I think there's only. I would say there's only 2 there that are actually decent, right. Which is the Luke and the Leia one. The Anakin and Padme and Ahsoka is basically Anakin and Padme are going on a mission together, and I think they're looking forward to having some time alone. And Ahsoka gets herself on it, and she obviously gets a vibe that them two are going to be together and stuff. So that adds to that, but that's not. And the one when Rey's a scavenger, she rescues that alien that kidnaps BB-8 originally. She saves him. They're absolutely pointless, to be honest. And to be honest, even the Yoda and Mark Hamill one, Luke one, I don't really think it did much.
It didn't add anything, did it?
No.
It just showed you how Yoda got
more
in that
training.
Backpack. It just showed how he got Yoda in a backpack. Turns out the backpack was on the floor, and R2 had some arms coming out of the front of him.
I mean, it's just a bit more training. I mean, it did. To be honest, I'm going to actually reverse on that. It did because it's called Path Ahead, and I think because it's so raw that Luke's just died and he's old. There was a bit, and because it's Luke sounded like how he used to sound, how he sounded in Last Jedi. I guess I did feel a bit of a connection. Actually, there was a bit of, Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's called Sealy.
More
Yeah,
poignant. Not what's the word I'm looking for? Poignant. Is that a word?
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean.
So
Anyway,
so that okay, yeah.
well, so now there, if Star Wars fans, if you want to watch them, watch them.
And if you end up ripping out your eyes, it's not our fault. So what
No.
was the good news?
Well, the good news is Star Wars Battlefront 2 has had a big update.
Oh, I saw that I got an update for it. I haven't checked it out.
So it was a big update released yesterday.
Okay.
And this is basically the main point of it is to fix the progression system and the way that people progress and basically the way the game's played effectively.
Okay.
And they've also made a few tweaks, as they would normally do on an update. The main thing that they've done is added in the best pin, one of the best pin maps from Battlefront 1 from the DLC, which was one of my favourite maps actually.
Okay.
It's a really big map, and it goes all around the outside of the buildings as well as inside the buildings. And so that's available on Heroes and Villains and Blast, and also on arcade mode.
Is there any single player?
There's no new single player on this, but basically the main point of this update was to fix the progression system and deal with all the things that everyone's been moaning about with the game. Okay. So to just summarise basically what they've done. Previously, how it all worked was you had star cards, and you had credits, and you had crafting points, and you had crystals. Yeah, and you earn credits, and you earn crafting points, and you use credits to buy crates. And then when you've got a crate, you get either star cards, crafting points, or more credits, and those star cards you'd use to progress your characters, the different characters, but it was all randomized. Quite
confusing.
and crafting points you then increase. You could then upgrade the cards, but what it meant was you couldn't choose what you were going to upgrade. It was it was completely random. So you buy a crate, and you wouldn't know what you were going to get.
Yeah, I remember this.
You had no choice in what there was no relation to what you were playing to. So, like, if you love playing like as a heavy, you might there was no actual progression on the heavy unless you bought the star cards. But then that was randomly getting them unless you crafted them, and then so you just had to buy crates to craft the cards and that kind of stuff. So it was probably not the fairest way of doing it. And then also, obviously, the biggest issue at the beginning was that the whole pay to win allegations that you could buy crystals to also purchase crates, which meant that if you wanted to pay, then you just buy all the crates. Again, you still couldn't choose what card you were going to get, but at least you buy the cards.
You'll eventually get what you want.
Yeah. So they've completely scrapped that system. They've still got star cards, but now you can only earn credits and you can buy crystals, but you can't actually buy them yet. That's not coming on till April. And progression now is not. You're never going to be able to buy your way through it now. Progression is done on the individual card, on the individual characters, the heroes, or the classes, or the vehicles that you're flying. So each one, when you play the game, you get a score for progress for each of the whatever versions you played in that game, and they've all got like milestones, so levels, and so you as you achieve, you unlock levels, and every time you unlock a level, you get a skill point, and then you can use that skill point to upgrade a star card or get a star card for that, but only for that character you played against.
Right.
So you can't transfer the skill point to a different character. So again, it rewards you for playing the game and for playing the characters you want to play. And
that's a much better way.
Yeah, much better. And for those people like me who've unlocked all of the characters and pretty much upgraded most of our things, it's all there still. Everything that you'd earned before is still there.
Oh, that's good.
As I said, crafting points are now out the window. In April, you're going to be able to redeem your crafting points for skill points, and that'll be a one-off. You can then choose where you want to use those skill points. But after that, basically skill points will have to be earned. Credits are still going to be available and still earned, but you can use them to buy crates, and the only thing that you'll be able to buy in a crate now are cosmetics. So that's emotes, appearances, that kind of stuff. And they're going to, in April, they're going to release a whole load of different appearances, so you can customize your characters. You can have different races, you can have different costumes, that kind of stuff. So hopefully it's going to be a lot better. And that's the only thing you can buy with crystals. You'll be able to pay. So people who haven't quite put the new update in, I guess the advice is, if you want to progress, then you probably want to use your crafting points and spend all your credits to become crafting points by now, and then you can get converted to skill points. If you're more interested in the cosmetic side of it, then keep your credits, and then you can hopefully spend them in April when all the stuff's released. Along the other things that have come in with this update is, they did the jetpack cargo special in Tatooine a couple of months ago in February. They've now got one in Bespin, so that's available today. So
cool.
And that's a really cool mode.
So go rush out and download it, people.
Yeah. Also, if you're interested, they just recently had the Luke Hoth appearance where you could complete challenges to win that. They've just released the Leia Hoth challenges. There's 3 challenges currently available for the next 3 days. If you complete the challenges, you'll get the Leia appearance.
There you go. See, Colin's got you covered when it comes to Battlefront news.
You know, I'm really looking for. I love the game.
You do,
really
don't you?
love the game. I love it. So I'm pleased they're fixing it. I still think it's probably a little bit too late. I think the game's got a bad reputation. I know there's a lot of people who haven't got any love for it and not particularly happy with EA. But they honestly seem to be trying to fix it. In April, they're going to release all the details on what's coming up in terms of the next season pass and all that kind of stuff. But
cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. And I think that's us hitting our time limit. So let's say farewell to everyone.
Farewell.
You can all find us on social media, on Facebook at Star Wars Conversations, on Twitter at Star Wars Convo, hashtag Star Wars Convo. You can get us on all of the places where you find podcasts like iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or anywhere else that you find podcasts. We're on Instagram at Star Wars Convo or hashtag Star Wars Convo. And we're also on the Taylor Network of podcasts.
Yay, Taylor Network podcast. It's you can get one feed on iTunes, Google Play, or what's the other one? What is Stitcher? And basically on that one feed, there's loads and loads of different podcasts. Obviously, this one's on there, and we're the best. But there's things like Go Trek Yourself, Gotham by Geek, Double Page Spread. Oh, Double Page Spread! I've got some news for you, Jay.
Go on.
We're going to do a crossover with Double Page Spread next month.
Ah, cool. I did not know that. So, yeah, cool. There we go.
And Nothing's On, and loads of great ones.
Awesome.
Loads of great ones.
So go check them out.
Yeah, loads of great podcasts. Culture Trapping, No Apologies. If you want TV, culture, films, comics, interviews, it's all there.
There you go. All right. So that'll do it from us. And until next week,
punch it, Chewie.
May the Force be with you.